everyone, this is Anshika Gupta and welcome to my channel Let's Code and Solve by Newton School. I hope you all enjoyed the last tutorial that was Introduction to Python Programming Language. Today we're going to learn about what are variables, what are inbuilt data types, then implementation and classification of it. Before going to that, let me introduce you all to Newton School. So what is Newton School? Newton School is a platform which prepares you for a career in tech. It has courses designed for freshers, working professionals, and also for women with no tech background. Newton School first trains you for 6 months and helps you become an amazing full stack developer. It also has a network of more than 300 great companies who hire from Newton School. So once the training is complete, Newton School also ensure that it's a student are placed with some of the best companies in the country. And the best part is that Newton School has a pay after placement program under which you don't have to pay Newton School anything until and unless you are placed with minimum 5 lakh CTC. So another amazing feature of Newton School is the Launchpad. So Launchpad is an initiative taken by the Newton School for people who want to start coding from scratch and learn the basic of different programming language, which are absolutely free of cost. So this video would also be available in a Launchpad section of Newton School. There you can practice servlet quizzes, assignment related to this course. So moving further, what are variables? So what are variable in Python is, so variable are containers for storing data values. So variable is a reserved memory location to store values. This means that when you create a variable, you reserve some space in memory. Every value in Python has a data type. Variable can be declared by either name or even alphabet like A, capital, not single, and after that ABC as a capitalization. So in Python, it doesn't have any command for declaring a variable. A variable is created the moment you first assign a value to it. Without a value, a variable is not existable. So what are the standard data types? Python has a various standard data types that are used to define the operation possible on them and the storage method of each of them. So there are 5 types of data type that are numbers, string, list, tuples, and dictionary. So variable don't need any of the declaration with any particular type and can even change at different moment every data set. So assigning a variable or assigning a value to a particular string or variable, that means it needs a equals to sign to assign the value to variable. The operand to the left of the operator is the name of variable and the operand to the right of the operator is the value stored in the variable. So now what is the variable name? So a variable name can have a short name like it's X, Y, A, B, C or any alphabet or anything descriptive name to that like age, gar name, total volume, anything. So now what are the rule for Python variable? First rule for the Python variable is a variable name must start with better underscore character, or it starts with A to Z any underscore variable, but a variable cannot start with a number. A variable always have an alphanumeric character or underscore in it. Variable name are case sensitive, that is whether it's a completely starting with a small letter like age, then age at the capital, then fully capitalized. These are the different types to write a variable in that. So what are now the Python numbers? There are 3 types of numeric types in Python, that are int, float, and then complex. So variable of numeric types are created when you assign a value to them. So if you get a function in that but you don't have any value to that, it will be operating as a null value. So what are now built-in data types? In programming language, data type is an important concept. Variable can also used to store the data of different types, different data types, and also different things in that. Whether if the it's a basket and I want to add something, whether it's a fruit, vegetable. Now it's my wish, like whether I want to add the fruits or vegetable or combine of that. This how a variable built-in data type works upon. If I add 2 apples, 2 bananas, and after that 2 brinjals and 2 ladyfingers, it's my type how I am mixing and being creating a basket of it. So there are the types of built-in data type that are string, and under string that comes int, float, complex, and after that it comes the list, tuple, range. Then comes dictionary, which comes under the set and frozen set. Then Boolean type, bool, and binary type, that is bytes, byte error, and then memory view. Now if we want to have an instruction or instruction of series, how we can come upon? So moving forward to Newton School Playground, f by type of if I write a variable, that is 1. Okay, and after that I want to print. What I have to print? I want to print the class type or print the type of class it is. So what I'll write upon is print type of what? Of x. Okay, now when I'll be writing the print type of x, it's you can just change out the whatever language you are being running. When I'll run this program, it will give me that this class is of int function. Okay, that's how we generally use to print the types of data. Now what if I just create another variable, that is y is equals to 2.5. Then I want to get the print type of what? Y. Now if I run this, okay, now if I print y is equals to 2.5 and print the type of y, it will give me the class that is float. Okay, that how we can obtain the what type of class it is or what type of data type it is. Okay, now if we have to assign the data a value, so how we can assign a data a value? That is assigning a variable some value, or whether in int we can provide an integer, a whole number, positive, negative, or without decimal it can be, or it's unlimited length too. Further, what is float? We just came upon the float example also, that is 2.5. Now what is float? So float is a number, or floating point number is a number that contains positive or negative or containing one or more decimal in it. Okay, moving further, what are complex numbers? So complex number is iota part, imaginary part. Okay, imaginary part means like you have one real part, then imaginary, that contains a complex number. So the types of, what are the types of built-in function and how we can configure out, that was int, float, bool, etc. and etc. Now comes to the what are the none type. So coming forward, what are the none type? So none type represent an object that does not contain any value, either it is blank or containing the 0 value in that. Okay, in Java, for example, in Java we had a null object, but in Python we have a null object containing no value or containing 0 in that. Okay, in Python programming, maximum of only one none object is provided, no more than that, because it will give an array or it will give an as a subsequent integer error. So the none type is used inside a function, that is a default value of an argument. But when calling the function, if no value is passed, then the default value will be taken as a null. It will be recursed back or called back to its own value. In Boolean expression, the non data type represents false. Like it's a 0, that means it's false. But in a simple criteria, it will be passing as a none type. Now, what are the differentiation of numeric types? That is int, float and complex. We already discussed it. So what is int data type? In explanation, so int data type represent an integer number. An integer number is either a number without any decimal point or it's a fractional part. So int data type supports both negative as well as the positive integer data type. Then it comes to it stores up to a large number of integer number conveniently. Like you can go to under 4 bits, 8 bits, 12 bits, any like unlimited. Now just in recollections of the data type, that is the float data type represent the floating point number, and after that it contains a decimal point also. Now what is the Boolean data type? So Boolean data type means that it has the Boolean values, that is true or false. If the program executed or if the program is not executed, it will be giving us the proper range of that. Okay, what if I have to get the same value with a proper statement? It will not be giving me. Okay, so Python internally represent true as 1 and false as 2 as 0. Okay, so what does it means that the Boolean data types? It always means that it has a value in that, but it will execute in true or false. That how the variable names are being configured. So variable name can have a short name or a more descriptive name, but a variable name must start with a letter and underscore character. That how the Boolean data type will execute. So now comes what are the print statement. Print statement is just like execution point of particular thing. And what if I write a program of print welcome to Newton School. Okay, here is a simple print function. I wrote some input and I got an output. But what if I have a concatenation? If I have to join two strings in that. Okay, so what I'll be doing I'll be doing the concatenation. Concatenation means the joining the two strings. Okay, I'll be writing one more function in that. Print welcome to Newton School plus concatenation, and after that one more string. Let's code and solve. Let's check now what it happens. It will come welcome to Newton School, let's code and solve. I forgot to just skip one space in that. So you can see that welcome to Newton School, let's code and solve. Okay, that how the concatenation is done between among and different types of strings in that. Okay, now it comes what are the sequence in Python. So sequence in Python, that means a group of elements or items that are used to collaborate or that is used to represent each type of class in that. So there are 6 types of sequence in Python, that are string, byte, byte array, list, tuple and range. Okay, now moving further, what is string data type? So a string is represented by a group of character. String are always enclosed in single, either double or it's a triple quotes. It depends to the starting to end. How many quotes are being using at the starting of the string to the end. That how a string data type has been defined upon. So if I wrote over here only single hello, whether it will execute it? Of course yes, because I am using same type or same number of quotes in that. Okay, that how a byte data type is being defined, a string data type is defined upon. Now what is bytes data type? So byte is a number of positive integer from 0 to 255. So byte also stores the memory location allocations in it. So bytes array can store up to 0 to 25 range, but it can't store even storage in that. Okay, like 10, 20, 40, 50, 60, and even storage it can't be stored. Okay, we can modify also, we can edit also types of like in the bytes in the type of array. So now comes to what are the list data types. So list is in Python always similar to the arrays, that we can edit it, we can append it, we can sort it, we can add it upon, or we can just configure out. So main difference between the list of array is the list can be stored different types of elements, but array can store only one types of element. List I can store 5 or more. I am just giving an example. I can store 5 types of or elements, but in array I'm gonna store only one type of elements. So list can grow up to a dynamic in memory, but array can't. But the size of arrays is always fixed. That means that they didn't grow up. That how a variable name are being used or as a list type. Okay, thanks for watching it. Go and prepare and implement the programs and Newton School Playground. Thank you.